everybody, it's Mel. Thank you for joining me today for my March TBR. So today I'm going to be playing Roll of Reads to decide what books I'm going to be putting on my TBR for the month of March. I haven't been doing very well so far this year in reading the books I actually put on my official TBR game TBR. So yeah, we'll see how we go. Before I go any further, I just wanted to say a couple of things. First of all, that because of various things, I don't have any of the books that I have picked or potentially will be picking here with me. So I'm just going to have to put images of them on screen. For the most part, most of them I actually do have though. But anyway, I'm sure none of you really care. And then the other thing I want to say just quickly is that anyone that I mention in this video will be listed in the description below. So, I am not going to go through all of the books that I was supposed to read in the month of February because, as you may have surmised from what I just said, I have not read any of those books. I may have overcommitted myself to read-alongs and things of that nature. So, yeah. I didn't read any of the books from last month's TBR. So, therefore, I have to take a punishment. Which brings me to mentioning the rules and gameplay for the game. All of that is gone through in my January TBR, so I will link that down below if you'd like to go and check that out and have an explanation of gameplay, rules, and all of those things. But basically, I'm going to be playing Roll of Reads today to decide what books I'm going to be reading in the month of March, or at least what books I'll be putting on the TBR. I do have to start with a punishment because, as we just said, I have not read any of the books that was on my February TBR, which I'll link below as well. So yeah, we have that. Now I do have a couple of books that I need to read in the month of March that I need to get on the TBR. The first of those is the final book in the Realm of the Elderling series by Robin Hobb, which is Assassin's Fate. So I need to get that on the TBR if I possibly can. Then I need to get my book club book. So I will link my Discord down below, the link to the Discord. It is for just general chats, but it does also include a couple of read-alongs and my book club. So I run a book club that is quarterly, so once every 3 months. At some point throughout those 3 months, it's up to you when we read a book. We all vote on the book based on the theme that I choose, and then there's a live show at the end of the third month of that quarter. So for this quarter, the book is Blood in the Water by Tiffany D. Jackson, and I need to get that on the TBR if I possibly can, because I do need to read that in March because I haven't read it yet and it's my book club, so obviously I need to read it. All the information about that is in the Discord, as well as when the live show will be. It will be on my channel, but when exactly, that will all be in the Discord. So if you'd like to read that with us and get involved, please do so. From what I know, it is a middle grade horror, and I've enjoyed Tiffany D. Jackson's books before, so I'm excited to read this one. Yeah, so there's that. Then I also need to read Pride and Prejudice, because one of the other read-alongs that is in that Discord is my brain freeze, is a classics read-along, which is called Jane Austen and Friends read-along, which I'm running with some amazing other booktubers and other bookish people. They are all linked down below, so you should go and check that out. But we have Christina, we have Brooklyn from Brooklyn Reads, we have Neva from Neva's Cozy Corner, and we have Margaret from The Word Nerd. Please go and check out their channels, subscribe, and then also please come and join. So I need to read Pride and Prejudice as well, which is the first book that we'll be reading for the classics or Jane Austen and Friends read-along. And I think that's everything that I need to read in March. So I'm hoping to get those 3 books on the TBR. Of course, there is only 4 rolls that I'll be doing. So, you know, we'll see how we go. That's everything that I need to talk to you about today. Like I said, if you want to see me talk about the rules and the gameplay and all of those things, go and check out my January video. But anyway, let's go now to past Mel doing the rolls, figuring out punishments, all of that stuff, setting up the board, etc. And then I will be back Present Mel will be back soon to talk you through what happened and what books I'm picking. Okay, let's start by adding our permanent prompts. Then we will shuffle up our regular prompts. Alright, let's place these cards. Shuffle the punishments. Shuffle the rewards. Alright, and we need to pick up a punishment first of all. Roll over an unread book. Okay. Alright, we can do that. And roll number 1 is 8. Free book. Alright, sweet. Thanks, Aaron. Roll number 2 is a 4. Mental or physical health rep. Nice. Roll number 3 is a 9. Book involving a journey, which was suggested by Tracy. Thanks, Tracy. And final roll, for hopefully, is an 8. So that means punishment, so it could still be our final roll. But a book battle. Alright. And then we need to pick up a punishment. One book must be over 400 pages. Okay. This is going to be interesting. Alright. Nice. Okay, I'm back. The nice thing about the way that I'm structuring these videos these days is that you've all seen the roles and potential punishments, rewards, etc. So if I get them in the wrong order, then it doesn't really matter. And also punishments or rewards can kind of apply to everything despite when they come up. I say all that because I'm not sure if I've got them in the right order here. So anyway, the first thing that I had to do was pick a punishment, and I got roll over an unread book. So the book that I'm going to choose is We Solve Murders by Richard Osman. I have been very much in the mood to read this book, and I keep thinking to myself, oh, I might pick that up today, but I have other books I really need to read by particular times. I'm going to roll that over, which is We Solve Murders. It is the first book in a new series by Richard Osman. Richard Osman wrote The Thursday Murder Club. I don't know a lot about this book. I just know that it is also a murder mystery. So yeah, I've enjoyed, well, I only read The Thursday Murder Club. I haven't read the rest of the series, but I did enjoy The Thursday Murder Club, and I enjoy Richard Osman as a comedian, so I'm excited to read this next book of his. I have heard mixed reviews on this one, but I'm excited to give it a go anyway. So that's my punishment book. Then I'm pretty sure the first prompt that I got was free book, which was suggested to me by Erin. The prompt itself was suggested to me by Erin from Shebas and Shelves. So thank you very much, Erin. And let me just think about this a little bit. Part of me kind of wants to let myself just have this as kind of like a mood read, but I probably need to put Pride and Prejudice. And the reason that I just paused and looked over here was because I think I can fit the other books I need to read into some of the other prompts that I got. And you can probably guess what they are, potentially. But, or maybe you can't. That's not important. Anyway, so I probably need to put Pride and Prejudice in here. I have read Pride and Prejudice a bunch of times, so like if I don't get to read it, it won't affect my ability to join in the discussion. But I do want to reread it because I love it. It's one of my favourite books. So yeah, I think for free book, I'm going to go with Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. I feel like I probably don't need to tell you about Pride and Prejudice, but just on the off chance that you haven't heard of Pride and Prejudice and don't know what it's about, Pride and Prejudice is a classic novel. It was written, I don't actually know when, but it was written sometime in the 1800s, I believe, and it follows, well, a variety of characters, but I guess main character would be Elizabeth Bennet, and Elizabeth Bennet is the second of five girls in a family. They're a family of gentlemen, however, their father's estate will be entailed away to a different family cousin when he dies. And so the mother is desperately trying to find husbands for these women. When we open the book, we are discussing, cat and therefore cat hair, we are discussing the fact that a young man has just moved into, an adult man, but youngish, has just moved into a local area and he is reasonably well off, and that maybe he might want to marry the girls. And it's a story, one of the girls, and then it's a story about relationships and about Lizzie navigating relationships and life, family life and things like that. So I really enjoy it and I'm excited to reread it. Okay, next prompt. I've just dropped a prompt. That's okay. I think next prompt is book involving a journey, which was suggested to me by Tracy. So thank you very much, Tracy. And the book that I'm going to put for this prompt is Assassin's Fate, because I am 90% sure that involves a journey. I don't want to go into detail because, like I said, sorry, the cat is on the mic. Because, like I said, this is the final book in the Realm of the Elderling series, so I don't want to spoil anything for anything, but I'm pretty sure there's a journey. So I will just let you know that we follow one of our main characters from the Realm of the Elderlings, which is Fitz. That's all I'm going to say. We follow Fitz. Of course we do. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it involves a journey, so I'm going to pop it in there for book involving a journey. So thank you very much, Tracy. That worked out really, really well. The prompt that I just dropped was book battle. So this is kind of inspired, this prompt is inspired by, well, partly the fact that this game is itself inspired by Dungeons and Dragons, and also partly inspired by Gavin from that's his old name, from Gavin Reads It All. He used to do a TBR game where you would have a bunch of cards and you would have a book that he'd really want to read, a book he wasn't particularly in the mood for, and have a bunch of cards and he would have to try and guess which would be higher or lower, and based on how he went in the game he would end up, which book would end up. And so I decided to do like my own kind of variation on this, and that is the book battle. So I have picked two books. I mean, they're both books that I do want to read, so it's not really true to say that these are books, one book's a book I want to read and one book is a book I don't want to read. I do want to read them both, but I think I'm more in the mood for one than the other. So the books that I've chosen are Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. This is the second book, the final book in the duology, which I think is called The Shepherd's Crown, maybe. And it is I've heard it described as romantasy, although I don't know that that's entirely accurate. But it is a fantasy with some romance, fairly strong subplot at least, that I've enjoyed. The first one was One Dark Window, and I enjoyed that one. And I found it really interesting. The magic system is quite interesting, so definitely want to read the second one and see how it ends up. And my second pick is, I actually can't remember, the next Murderbot Diaries book. I can't remember what it's called. We follow a security unit AI who calls themselves Murderbot. They have hacked their governor module, and that means they basically have control of themselves, and all they really want to do is just watch TV. But they need to keep pretending that they're under the control of humans so that they don't get found out and then really be put back under control of humans, if that makes sense. I really enjoyed it, like I said, but I think I'm more in the mood for the fantasy, which I haven't really described very well because I don't really know how. It's really interesting, but I don't know. I tried to describe it previously and I feel like I did a terrible job, so I'm not going to go into detail, but I am more in the mood for fantasy. Plus that would finish a duology, which would be good. So I've got my dice in this bag. I'm going to grab out 2 D20s. This cat is decidedly unhelpful. There's 1 D20. Sorry, this is a giant D30, which I've literally not used for anything before, but it's cool. I like it. So we have 1 D20. Are you a D20? I think you are D12. I mean, really, any dice would work. I don't need to do a D20, but anyway. I definitely have more than 1 D20 in here. That's a D20. So I have this pinky one, and I have this bluey purpley one. So I'm going to actually film myself doing the roll over on the arm of the chair just next to me using my phone, and then I will insert it so that you can see. I have to assign books. Sorry, I haven't done this one for a while. Okay, so the bluey purpley one I prefer, although they're both very pretty. This is the one that I prefer though. So it is going to be my Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillick. And then I do like this one as well. Woo! Oh, I have to get another one because it's going to be easier to get another one than it is to actually go and get that dice off the floor. Just because of how I've got the tripod situated. Let's try that again. This, again, like I said, this is the one for the fantasy, romance, and then this black one here is going to be for the Murderbot Diaries. Alright, let's do the roll. So as you just saw, it is the fantasy romance, that one. So I will be reading Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillick, which I'm excited about. I do need to message my friend Ellie from Elgro Books because for those of you that watched my most recent wrap-up, you'll know that I read the first one as a buddy read with her, and I have no idea where she's at. Last time I spoke to her, she hadn't actually finished it. So I do need to check in with her if she wants to buddy read it, but I do want to read it anyway, so we'll see how we go. Then I just realised I have not addressed one book must be over 400 pages. This is I may even have got it with the book battle. I landed on the same number twice, so therefore I had to pick a punishment card again, and I got one book must be over 400 pages. The Assassin's Fate will work for that because I think it's like 800 or 900 pages long, so it definitely works for that one. So yeah, that's that. Alright, and then finally I got a mental and physical health wrap. Now I was looking at Goodreads to figure out if any of the books that I already picked out or needed to read would work for this. And it does appear as though Blood in the Water by Tiffany G. Jackson would work for mental and physical health rep because I believe there's quite a bit of trauma and dealing with trauma. So I consider that being mental health. I could be entirely incorrect, so apologies if that's the case. It's always kind of hard to tell when you haven't actually read the book yet, but I'm hoping that that will work for this prompt. Let me know what you think. But yeah, that means that I managed to get all of the books that I need to read onto my TBR using the prompts that I actually got, which potentially hopefully means that I might even wind up not so terribly badly off and potentially not even having to have a punishment for April. We'll see how we go. But anyway, that was the TBR. So I'm going to go through them quickly, even though I don't have anything to hold up, but I'll go through and recap quickly for you. First up, we have the rollover book, which was my first punishment for not finishing anything from last month, and that is going to be We Solve Murders by Richard Osman. Then I have Free Book. That's my first prompt. Free book, and the book I'm putting in here is Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Next prompt I got was must involve a journey, and I'm putting Assassin's Fate in here by Robin Hobb, and that will fulfill the second punishment I got, which was must be over 400 pages long. Then I got the prompt book battle, and I chose either Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig or The Next Murderbot by Martha Wells, and the book that actually won was Two Twisted Crowns by Rachel Gillig. And then I got Mental or Physical Health Rep, and the book that I've decided to put in there is Blood in the Water by Tiffany D. Jackson. So yeah, that's everything I need to talk to you about today. If you have any thoughts about anything I've talked about today, if you've read any of the books that I've put into my TBR, if you're going to read any of these books, please comment below and let me know. If you are doing the read along for the final trilogy of the Realm of the Elderlings with Bethany and myself and the other person whose channel name I've forgotten, sorry, please let me know that down below as well. If you'd like to join the Popular read along with Steph from Coffee Over Apples and Bethany, again from Beautifully Bookish Bethany, then please let me know that as well. And if you'd like to join the Classics read along or Jane Austen and Friends read along with the people I mentioned before, please comment that below as well. And then finally, if you'd like to join my book club, please comment that below as well. And all of the information for all of those things are in my Discord, which again is linked down below. If you'd like to leave me a comment but you don't know what, then leave me a blue emoji, just any blue emoji, because the colour of Discord, which I've mentioned a bunch of times because it involves all of those various things, is blue, I think. It's blue on my things, so we'll put a blue emoji in there, any blue emoji. But yeah, that's everything I want to talk to you about today. So thank you so much for joining me. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would absolutely love it if you would subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, like I said, thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.